Good morning, my people. This is MoWhite with Kingdom Dominion Over Thyself, coming to you in the name of our Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. The I6II version of the King James version of the Bible, the original text. I want to read something to the women because I know that people don't think that women have their place in God, and I want to read this chapter real quick about a woman named Judith. This is of the books they took out of the Bible that you guys might read, the modern King James and all of these other versions of the Bible. But in the original text of the 1611 King James version, they have the Apocrypha, and this was a powerful woman. And if you read her whole book, it would blow your mind as women. Check this out. This is the book of Judith, chapter 16. Then Judith began to sing this Stankus Gideon in all Israel, and all the people sang after her this song of praise. And Judith said, Begin unto my God with timbrels, sing unto my Lord with cymbals, tune unto him a newest psalm. Exalt him and call upon his name. For God breaketh the battles, for amongst the campus in the midst of the people he hath delivered me out of the hands of them that persecuted me. A sword came out of the mountains from the north. He came with 10,000s of his army, the multitude whereof stopped the torrents, and their horsemen had you cut with the hills. He bragged that he would burn up my borders, and kill my young men with the sword, and dash the sucking children against the ground, and make mine infants as a prey, and my virgins as a spoiler. But the Almighty Lord hath disappointed them by the hand of a woman. For the mighty one did not fall by the young men, neither did the sons of the Titans smite him, nor high giants set upon him. But Judith, the daughter of Merari, weakened him with the beauty of her countenance, for she put off the garment of her widowhood for the exaltation of those that were oppressed in Israel, and anointed her face with ointment, and bound her hair in a tire, and took a linen garment to deceive him. Her sandals ravished his eyes, her beauty took his mind a prisoner, and the Phashim passed it through his neck. The Persians quaked at her boldness, and the Medes were daunted at her hardiness. Then my afflicted shouted for Ayoy, and my wicked ones cried aloud. But they were astonished. These lifted up their voices, but they were overthrown. The sons of the damsels had you pierced them through, and wounded them as fugitives' children. They perished by the battle of the Lord. I will sing unto the Lord a new song. O Lord, thou art great and glorious, wonderful in strength and invincible. Let all creatures serve you thee, for thou spakest and they were made. Thou didst send forth thy spirit, and it created them. And there is none that can resist thy voice. For the mountains shall be moved with from their foundations with the waters. The rock shall melt as wax at thy presence. Yet thou art merciful to them that fear thee. For all sacrifice is too little for a sweet Savior unto thee, and all the fat is not sufficient for thy burnt offering. But he that feareth the Lord is great at all times. Woe to the nations that rise up against my kindred. Guess who her kindred is? We are. Guess who the nations rising up against? Us. This is our people. The Lord Almighty will take vengeance of them in the day of thy judgment, and putting fire and worms in their flesh, and they shall feel at them and weep forever. Now, as soon as they entered into Jerusalem, they worshiped the Lord, and as soon as the people were purified, they offered their burnt offerings and their free offerings and their gifts. Judith also dedicated all the stuff of Elophanes, which the people had given her, and gave you the canopy which she had taken out of his bedchamber for a gift unto the Lord. So the people continued feasting in Jerusalem before the sanctuary for the space of 3 months, and Judith remained with them. After this time, every one returned to his own inheritance, and Judith went to Bethulia, and remained in her own possession, and was in her time honorable in all the country. And many desired her, but none knew her all the days of her life. After that, Manasseh her husband was dead, and was gathered to his people. But she increased more and more in honor, and waxed old in her husband's house, being 105 years old, and made her maid free. So she had died in Bethulia, and they buried her in the cave of her husband Manasseh. And the house of Israel lamented her 7 days. She died. She did distribute her goods to all them that are nearest of kindred, to Manasseh her husband, and to them that were the nearest of her kindred. And there was none that made the children of Israel any more afraid in the days of Judith, nor a long time after her death. Now, I want my women my godly women, the women who fear the Lord, to realize the power that you can possess by destroying the enemy. It took this one woman to go into the camp of the enemy and deceive them by her beauty, and deceive the captain of the army by her beauty. She didn't let this man touch her. She used wisdom to sit up there and bring destruction to these people just by destroying the head of the camp, the head of the serpent. And she cut off his head when they got drunk with wine, and they didn't even know her purpose of being there. She thought that she was betraying her people. They thought she was betraying her people, but she had a whole idea set up by God to go in there to destroy the head of the serpent. And she did that by her beauty. So women, know y'all power and know what y'all got your beauty to possess as, not a deception to your men or to your people, but to the enemies. And we can destroy our enemies just by one woman. And it could take a man to stand up. Sometimes God got to use whom he will to sit up there and bring destruction to our enemies. In Aissa's name.